Hey guys, in this video I'll be covering an update to the bomb deck tag that I made some time back. This time it's just a minor adjustment with the addition of the Yuffie card. This deck, I have to say, is very fun to play, very consistent, and of course importantly very strong. With this deck you can take the same approach and win every single in-game Queen's Blood match, including even the match against the Shadowblood Queen. While yes, there are decks that can of course achieve a higher score at the end of the match, this deck gives you a very comfortable 70-ish score on average. And what I like about this deck really is the consistency and the ease to win. You don't really have to compete for spaces on the board because you essentially be blowing everything up with the bomb card and the Yuffie card anyway. And because this deck relies on destruction at its core, it doesn't really matter what cards the opponent play as well, because essentially you'll be blowing everything up near the end of the game, and you'll be winning by the combination of having the Joker card boosted to sky high levels from all the destroyed cards, as well as the Shiva card filling up the spaces at the end of the match. This deck is also consistent because it hardly matters what you draw throughout the match, because essentially you will be drawing every single card. So even if you get pretty unlucky on RNG, for example, and you didn't draw the bomb card at the start, you can still play the match and eventually you draw the bomb card. Even if it's the final card that you draw, you can still win the match. So if you want a fairly easy deck to play that is also very fun and strong and consistent, then watch on, because I'll be covering two matches with this deck. One against a regular endgame opponent in the game, and the other actually with the Shadowblood Queen match. Alright, so the first match here is against one of the endgame players at Costa del Sol. So a quick pause here at the mulligan part, because I want to explain the mulligan. The mulligan is extremely simple. There's only two things that you need to do. First is keep any copies of Joker that you have. If you have both, it's ideal. If you have one, then keep it. Secondly, keep one copy of Mandragora card. Beyond these two rules, mulligan everything else away. The early game is very simple. You want to place one Mandragora card in the middle of the first row as such, after which you want to place one Joker at the bottom and then one Joker at the top. Now it's okay if you don't draw your Jokers yet, you don't really need them at the start, and it's not like the opponent will capture the first row that you have. So if you don't have the Joker, don't fret it, instead work towards your way to in the middle. And you can place the Jokers on the first row whenever you draw them, like here. Now once you capture these 4 squares, which is the first row plus the middle of the second row, for the middle square in the second row, you can either place another Mandragora card or a Heatseeker card. Either card is fine. Once you've done that, the early phase is over and we are now in the mid phase of the game. The mid phase is also very simple. What you want to do is capture the very middle tile on the board, which is the tile with the Queen's Blood word on it. Specifically, you want to place the bomb card on that tile. Now that may sound very challenging to do, because what if the opponent captures it, what if you don't draw the bomb card and so on. But it is actually very simple to do it, and right here you can see how I managed to do it. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind to achieve this. First of all, you never want to let the pawns in the middle tile change to red. Such as here, the moment the opponents change the pawn to red, you want to immediately change it back to green. This is actually very easy to do, because of your 15 card, not counting the Yuffie card, you have 6 more cards that are replacement cards, and all 6 capture one space ahead of them. So because I've already placed a Heatseeker card in the middle of the second row, anytime the middle square turns to red, you just place one of your replacement cards and you will read it back into a green pawn. Essentially then just need to change it to 2 pawns, and you can do that by using one of the Mandragora or Heatseeker cards at the top or bottom, or just place another replace card on the left and that will upgrade it. And you just hold it until you draw the bomb card. In this match in particular, my RNG is utterly horrible because I actually draw the bomb card last. That's right, for now I've actually drawn every single card in the deck and the bomb card happens to be last. And I chose this video because it actually shows that even if your luck is horrible and you draw the bomb card last, it's still pretty much fine. You just play the replacement cards until you draw the bomb card, place the bomb card in the middle, finish filling up as many squares around it as possible, and as here, place a 3 power replacement card on top of your bomb card. This is really why I love this deck. Watching everything go up in flames, I don't know, feels really fun whenever I play this deck. Everything blowing up would upgrade your jokers to sky high levels and easily win you the game right here. Obviously, once everything is up, the opponent will start placing cards again, but that's where the Yuffie card comes in. Now if the opponent gives up here, then you can just end the match here and win, but for the sake of the deck, I'll just continue playing. We are now in the late phase of the match, and it's also very simple overall. Essentially what you want to do is start filling all the squares around the middle again with as many cards as you can. The opponent will also start placing some cards as well, and it's fine, it doesn't really matter what card they place because you'll be blowing them up again anyway. If you are out of cards that can be placed on the pawns because the only cards you have are replacement cards, such as in this case, what you want to do is then try to increase the pawn levels all around as much as possible. Save 1 3 power replacement card because you need it for Yuffie. So here I've placed everything except the Shiva card, a Gigantoad card, and Yuffie. Now I chose to play the Shiva card here, but you don't have to. The only reason I did it is because the opponent has sort of given up. You should save the Shiva card last. So instead of playing the Shiva card, place the Gigantoad or whatever 3 power replacement card that you have right in the middle again. Or you can, in this case, place it 1 square to the right, and that way you will destroy every card the opponent has. This match was made fairly simple because the opponent sort of gave up. But assuming the opponent is still very aggressive and played the cards, just place the Gigantoad card down, place Yuffie on top of it, and Yuffie acts as a 3 powered bomb and will destroy everything again, after which you place the Shiva card and completely win the match. I didn't do it here because it wasn't necessary, but I'll do it in the next match. Okay, this is the match against the Shadowblood Queen. Now I have to say the Shadowblood Queen is the only one that gave the deck a little bit of trouble, mainly because there wasn't that many cards that I could place my replace cards on because the opponent sort of played the enfeeblement deck and many of the cards that I placed only had 1 power. You could of course make adjustments, but this match here shows that this deck can actually even win against the Shadowblood Queen without any adjustments necessary and using the very same strategy. So again, Mandragora card, Joker cards at the start. Gun for the very middle square to be 2 pawns, and as always, do not let the opponent change the middle square to red. Each time it's red, change it back as soon as possible with one of your many replace cards. This is always the priority because the moment the pawns are red, the opponent can obviously place a card on the tile, and if they do that, you cannot place the bomb card there any longer. You can still win by placing the bomb card somewhere else, but it will just be less effective and you may not get the score of 70 to 80 that way. So preparations are complete, both jokers are down, I have the bomb card ready to go. Unfortunately, the opponent still keeps trying to capture the very middle square, so you have to spend a couple of turns more to capture it back again. Here it was pretty unlucky because the opponent was very aggressive. The good thing though about this deck, in this match in particular, is that I don't need to destroy the bomb card, the opponent does it for me. So bomb card is down, everything is dead, and you just continue on with the strategy. So this time again, try to capture the middle square, put down a card and have Yuffie destroy everything. It was challenging here because a lot of the squares are now enfeebled, so there's not many squares that I can actually play on. But it doesn't matter, as long as you are destroying cards somewhere, you will still win with the lead that the Joker cards gave you. This is the only match that made it a bit tricky because of all the enfeebled square. In every single other match in the game, you can very comfortably re-win the middle square and place Yuffie card on top to bomb everything around her. Now this is where I realized that this strategy will be a bit difficult for the Shadowblood Queen because there isn't any card that I can attach my Yuffie card on, everything else will get enfeebled and destroyed. So what you can do here instead is use your replace cards to raise the pawns in the middle square to 3 and then place a Shiva card down. This will generate a 6 powered Iceberg card in the middle, I suppose, and will be the perfect target to put your Yuffie card on top. So this will create one more explosion that will destroy your opponent's card and give you the advantage to win. The rest of the match is really just trying to increase the Joker points. It's not so bad that cards are destroyed whenever you place them down because you will be powering up the Joker, and eventually this will give you enough of an edge to win. Overall, I hope that at least these 2 matches will give you a taste of what the bomb Yuffie deck can do. And really give it a try because it was really fun. Since I made this deck, I haven't used any other deck, even though I also have a couple of other decks that probably is stronger and can maybe score a bit of a higher points than this deck. But really, you know, fun is probably the most important factor overall, and you don't really need to score 100 over points in Queen's Blood. 70 points is way more than enough, especially since most of the time the enemies will only get 0 points because you keep blowing their cards up. Thanks for watching.